So how many goblins does it take to beat up a dragon? It's a question that absolutely nobody has asked us, but we're here to answer it anyway. Will it be 50, 100, 150? Stick around till the end to find out how many it managed to kill. We've deemed it fitting for this encounter to be taking place in the dragon's lair, with goblin raiders flooding in from the southern entrance to claim the dragon's hoard of treasure. As for what kind of dragon we'll be using, we looked through the different types and felt that it would have taken us about 3 hours to complete a combat that had an ancient dragon taking place, so we took the highest CR adult dragon that we can find in the time span of like 5 minutes, the adult red dragon. For this fight, I've taken on the role of the red dragon, while fellow members of the channel, Marco and David, took on the role of goblins, taking chunks of every 15 goblins that entered the lair at the top of the rounds. The main priority for the dragon in this fight was the kill count, not prolonging combat, so I took the chance to keep it on the ground and use its legendary actions as much as possible. The fight started off with 15 goblins pouring inside the dragon lair's south entrance. Both sides rolled initiative and the goblins actually won. The boys were debating on whether to split their goblins into 2 or 3 battalions, as they like to call them, but eventually settled on 2, with one controlling one half, the second one controlling the other half. Both halves of the goblins maneuvered behind the big formation of rocks and let loose 15 shortbow shots onto the dragon, with one battalion landing 2 hits while the other one landed 2 critical hits, starting off strong with 41 damage dealt to the dragon. On the dragon's turn, I was itching to use its breath weapon, so I had the dragon fly towards them and angle the breath weapon in a way that would only leave 2 out of the first wave of goblins alive. On the goblin's turn, another wave of 15 goblins charged into the dragon's lair, and they split up evenly across either side of the lair, as the boys have now opted to use Soviet tactics in order to bring down the dragon by dogpiling it. Marco's battalion sent a volley of arrows first, managing to hit only 1 shot, and David's battalion managed to hit another critical hit and a normal arrow shot. David's remaining 2 alive goblins from the first wave managed to hit another critical hit, bringing the total damage the goblins dealt to the dragon this round to 34. After the goblins' turn, our dragon used a legendary action to do his wing attack, which every goblin within 10 feet of it had to make a DC 22 dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 plus 8 damage. David's battalion rolled an 8 and were instantly vaporized by the dragon's wings. On the dragon's next turn, it flew to Marco's battalion and used its frightful presence, which made every creature within 120 feet of the dragon, in this case every single goblin on the map, have to do a DC 19 wisdom saving throw or become frightened by the dragon, to which every goblin failed their saving throw and got frightened. It then ripped apart 3 more goblins with its bite and claws. I then made the decision to fly the dragon 50 feet up into the air so they couldn't flank him. I know this wasn't an optimal decision, don't bully me. The lone goblin who was frightened made an opportunity attack with disadvantage and actually managed to hit the dragon for max damage. 15 more goblins flooded the lair. We agreed to do already intact battalions' turns first, then the new battalions that have just arrived on the map. David's remaining battalions circled around the dragon and fired 5 shots, followed by Marco's one, who also fired 5 shots. All of them missing, by the way. The boys spread out their fresh battalions in half and scattered them across the lair. Marco's 8 soldiers managed to hit 2 attacks, while David's 7 soldiers also hit 2 times out of their shots, dealing 26 more damage to the dragon. Our dragon didn't manage to recharge its breath weapon, so it just flew down and used its frightful presence on all the goblins again. From the fresh battalions, David's soldiers got frightened. Then the dragon ripped apart 3 more goblins. 15 more goblins poured in, leaving 37 goblins in active play on the battle map. David moved the 5 residual goblins that weren't frightened into flanking position with the dragon, all hitting with their scimitars, while Marco's 5 frightened ones took shots at it with their short bows. All in all, landing about 4 shots with 30 damage dealt to the dragon. The far west battalion of goblins made 7 attacks, which none of them hit. Marco then took the role of the dead goblin captain and shouted a rallying cry to his men.
Round him out, boys.
And then moved his residual battalion to hit and flank the dragon, making most of his attacks with advantage and only hitting 1 attack for 7 damage. Marco then took the 9 goblins from the fresh spawns and dogpiled them immediately onto the dragon, not remembering that they will all die from the dragon's legendary action immediately at the end of this turn. But hey, at least he hit 2 out of the 9 attacks for 7 more damage. David's battalion then moved up, shot 6 more times, hit 3 shots for 10 damage. At the end of the goblin's turn, the dragon used its wing attack legendary action and instantly vaporized 19 more goblins in light of Marco's confusion.
Wait, everyone?
Yeah, everyone. And flew to the northwest battalion of goblins with half its flying speed as part of its legendary action. On its turn, it didn't generate its breath weapon back, so it just ripped apart 3 more goblins and frightened David's remaining goblins on the battlefield. I thought of a funny move that the dragon could do to stop the spread of the goblin battalions, so I just put it at the front entrance to bottleneck any incoming reinforcements and essentially make a kill tunnel for them. Looking back at this now, it was kinda a clusterfuck at the entrance. We ruled no goblin can take another goblin goblin spot until it either died or got to the other side of the dragon. On the fresh battalion's turn, I gave them a ruling that each goblin can make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw to get on the other side of the dragon or just instantly get killed by getting stomped. And they agreed. David sent 5 of them on this suicide mission and managed to get 3 of them past the dragon. He then wanted to get at least 2 more goblins to the other side to flank the dragon and managed to get 4 more stomped in the process. With 9 more goblins freshly surrounding the dragon, they landed 5 more hits for 22 damage. The dragon then used 2 legendary actions to do its wing attack again. Marco rolled for the battalions that were in range for the dragon and actually succeeded the DC 22 dexterity saving throw. Taking half damage now, they all still died because half of 19 damage is 9. And all the goblins have 7 HP, so that's 12 more goblins wiped out. It then moved half of its flying speed as part of the legendary action and got its breath weapon back. With some pro geometry, I managed to get 10 more goblins in the fire breath cone and they all got evaporated. It then went back into the kill tunnel position, taking 7 more damage from like an opportunity attack. Another battalion of 15 goblins popped in and the boys decided for Marco to take control of all of them this time. All of them made their attacks and individually tried to scurry past the dragon's legs, hitting the dragon for 29 damage and losing 6 gobbos to stomps in the meanwhile. The dragon then used its wing attack to kill 4 more goblins around him. On its turn, it got its breath weapon back and opted to save it in preparation for the next wave of goblins, so it just mauled 3 more of them. Another wave of goblins came in and started surrounding the grievously wounded red dragon. They first shot with their short bows from the back, managing to hit 2 times for 15 damage. The rest of the goblins attacked the dragon and hit it at least 4 times before we started rolling damage to see if any of them are the killing blows. And yes, they were, dealing 17 points of damage to kill the dragon, finally bringing it down. The goblins piled on in and enjoyed their loot hoard, with the final kill tally being 86 goblins, with 105 of them having to be deployed in order to kill it. GG's. So what did we learn today? Goblins, they might be weak, squishy, and kind of terrible in combat, but if you throw enough of them at a dragon, they are gonna win. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more ridiculous D&D hypotheticals, leave a like and a comment below. Don't forget to join our Discord server to chat with us and other fans of this chaotic content. And if you've made it this far, you're a true hero. Until next time, have yourself a good one.